Recognized before we dismiss the witness.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Secretary Mnuchin, for being here, and I always get to be last. So you get to be just a little commentary and some quick questions. I do appreciate the President's position and your position on realigning our global markets and making sure that anyone who has access to the greatest marketplace in the world, the U.S., does it in a fair and reciprocal way. Although I am concerned, and I'm just going to express this because I know you've answered it, a little bit about what's happening in New York State in my rural district where dairy is one of the #1 industries. And we contend that we think that Canada has violated Class 7 pricing. I know there's some differences of opinion on that. I'd like to, and obviously New York State, we have trouble with an oppressive tax and spend regime in Albany that has made it really difficult for our dairy farmers to survive. But also, another thing another area is in crops, and particularly hay, and that again gets back to where we're going with the trade and the tariffs on the ability of Canada and other border states or border countries to be able to dump agricultural products on U.S. And I just hope that, I knew you've answered some of these things, but I just want to bring those to light because they are happening in New York State and want to be sure you're aware of those. Also, I'm sure the President and comments made by my colleagues on the other side is delighted that they are he is occupying some rent-free space in their head because they are reading his Twitter account regularity. So I thought that was amusing. But I do happen to think that you are a stable genius, and I do think the President's geopolitical and political instincts are proving to be maybe true. So I want to get to something beyond that and a little bit back and maybe a deeper dive into the idea of Iran sanctions and the Iranian state model. And I know going through just quickly, we know you've highlighted a little of this, but the waiver on the Islamic Republic of Iran broadcasting, that actually expires, those sanctions expire today. Do you believe it is in the best interest of our nation to allow them to expire, and would you be willing to reinstate those sanctions in light of the administration's policies toward Iran and the fact that OFAC has already placed the IRB under direct general sanctions? Would that be something you could support as of today?
Again, I'd rather you follow up with us privately and I get your views because it sounds like you have an opinion on this, so I'd like you to share it with us.
Thank you. Privately. Yeah, I know it's something that's headlining, and it is happening, and the past administration was pursuing waivers, and I just want to know where we're going to go today. We know that some of the resources that have been used under the former JCPOA were used for terrorist means. So I appreciate you getting back to us. And thank you again. I'm running out of time, but thank you again for your great work. And the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act have been, it was a difficult process, but have been a godsend for my region. And I've yet to go to a business, small, medium, or large, that hasn't praised the tax cuts and talked about new jobs, raises, and bonuses for their employees, and especially their middle-income taxpayers. Thank you so much for that.
Time of the gentlelady has expired. I'd like to thank our witness.